watching Goal Line Extended presented by Lacrosse Flash.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Goal Line Extended on the Lacrosse Flash Podcast Network. I'm your host, Ryan Hulsebos, and I hope you're all having a great day as we get ready to bring you another Lacrosse Flash special. As joining me right now on GLE are North Carolina senior attackmen Chris Gray and Alex Trippi. Chris, Alex, welcome to the show. How are you guys doing today?
Doing well. Thank you for having us.
Hey, absolutely. Hey, glad to have you guys with us as we get settled in here for what looks like a really exciting weekend ahead. And you guys will obviously both be right in the middle of it with the semifinals going down on Saturday early afternoon, a chance to play in Monday's championship game at stake. And you have a pretty common foe here in the Virginia Cavaliers, who you've split the season series with up to this point. So very exciting stuff. We'll get to that in a little bit, but a big shout out first. I want to give a shout out to one of my very good friends, Mike Levittown, also a good friend of Alex. He was able to hook us up here and make this interview possible, even though, Alex, he did tell me that he would come in with me and kind of sit and watch us do this interview. He's nowhere to be seen. I've lived with him now for the past year. I've known him for the past 2 years. Is this a fluke, or what are we working with here with Mr. Levittown?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, that's one red flag if I've ever seen one.
Absolutely. Hey, all jokes aside, thankful to Mike for getting us in touch. Unfortunately, he did graduate, so he won't be here in Columbia, South Carolina with me next year. I probably should say a great thing he did graduate. Should have said, unfortunately, he won't be here. But you guys are playing in the Final Four this weekend. Alex, for you and this group of guys that has been a part of this Tar Heel team the past couple seasons, this is your first NCAA tournament experience in your career. So what's the excitement level right now to not just be playing in your first tournament and advancing in this tournament, but right now you're right there. The prize is right in front of you. How excited are you and this whole group for this opportunity?
Yeah, I mean, along with Chris, we hadn't made the playoffs since this year, so it's all pretty new to us. I think the most exciting thing is definitely heading to the semifinals and having a chance to compete for a national championship, which is why we came here, which is why we wake up super early in the morning every day. And it's really all making every single practice worth the hard effort and time for this opportunity coming up.
Absolutely. And then, Chris, you just recently joined this team ahead of the 2020 season, transferring over from Boston University, where you played your first 2 seasons of college lacrosse as a sophomore, leading the country in points en route to being a Tewaaraton nominee. You transfer over to Carolina, and then, as we all know, COVID happened, and we all know the result of that. So getting this chance to finally play for this championship has to feel real good.
Yeah, it feels great. I mean, similar to what Alex said, it's why you come to UNC. You come to play in these big games and in the tournaments. So all really excited and looking forward to a great 2 games hopefully this weekend.
Absolutely. We'll look forward to that game with Virginia, and then hopefully your final there. If you are to beat Virginia, you will play on Monday in the final. But you're coming off a very exciting game against Rutgers. Went to overtime, something that we were hoping for. Obviously, you guys were in the middle of playing, but we had Virginia and Georgetown there kind of as a dual one to start the day on Saturday. But you guys with Rutgers made it real exciting. Great game. Chris, Alex, whoever wants to start, walk me through kind of the end there in overtime, able to get it done, though.
Yeah, I mean, I'll jump in there. I think, like you said, it was a great game. Obviously, Rutgers is a great team. They gave us all we can handle. Luckily, we were able to come down in the final stretch, and Connor McCarthy hit a nice game-winning shot to send us to the semis. But really just a gritty performance by our team, I think, one that's going to help us down the road. We had to come back from, I think, a 2-goal deficit, so it's only going to help us in the long run. And now that we're in the semis, the pressure's off, and we're here, and we can just live in the moment and play for it.
Absolutely. Big names coming up here in big moments down the stretch for your team. And for you, obviously, as well, being a Tewaaraton finalist this season, currently leading NCAA lacrosse in points. You've already set the single season record for points in the season at UNC, that number expecting to go up. Just really being in this Tewaaraton race, just the entire experience of it. How's kind of going into this weekend, how excited are you to try to up that stock and really just the excitement level of being in this conversation, a ton of great players that you're being mentioned alongside?
Yeah, I mean, it's always nice to be mentioned alongside some of those other guys. Obviously, there's a ton of talent in the NCAA. But I think really just moving forward, it's all about getting to Monday's game and winning the championship, and
absolutely,
not worrying about those individual accolades. The team success and why you do it is I guess why you go to practice every day and you come to North Carolina. So I would say just moving forward, really focused on that and finishing out those 2 games strong.
Hey, individual success adding up towards team success. Obviously, the right recipe for success there. I'll go shoot it over to Alex here. You guys got Virginia this weekend. You've played them twice so far this season. First time around, you won. Second time around, not the same outcome, even though both games very, very tight. What are we expecting in this game? Kind of a similar UVA team, obviously coming off their big win against Georgetown last weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be another tight game. We actually have a great relationship with the UVA lacrosse team, so we all know a ton of them. We visit them in the fall, and they come to us a couple of times. So it's going to be a hard-fought game. We're all friends out there, but when the whistle blows, it'll get serious, and hopefully we can pull it out.
Absolutely. Hey, we're looking ahead to what was a few decades ago, an all ACC Final Four. Not exactly the same here, as Maryland was able to knock off Notre Dame there in that those Sunday quarterfinals that we had. So sort of a throwback all ACC Final Four with Maryland coming into the mix. You look at those other two teams, Duke and Maryland, on the other side of the bracket. Obviously, if you are to win against Virginia here on Saturday, you will play the winner of those two teams. Duke, a team you're very, very familiar with, obviously playing them twice this season. Maryland, they played that all Big Ten schedule, so you did not get a chance to see them, and you got a chance to see kind of a smaller kind of body of work, being that they played just that Big Ten schedule. So how are you obviously preparing for Virginia, but in preparing for possibly one of those two games, kind of weighing those two options of Maryland and Duke?
Yeah, I think we're just first focused on the game this weekend. Try not to think about the other game, and then hopefully if we get the chance to win, I mean, I don't think we really care who we play. Just a chance to play in the national championship would be awesome.
Absolutely. It's kind of like win this first game and then just take all the emotion riding on that semifinal game, try to carry that into the final there. Looking forward to that final on Monday being Memorial Day. Very excited for that. But you guys having a great season this year, being the number one ranked team coming into this tournament, being one of the top teams really all year. Was that any like added pressure, being that you were obviously being mentioned in with the top teams, or was just that just constant motivation, being, oh, we're dropping down 1 week, we're moving back up, or obviously are you guys maybe not even paying attention to that? What are you even looking at with the rankings?
Yeah, I would say there wasn't really any pressure that came along with it. I think for us this year, especially just given the circumstances with COVID, each and every game, we're able to step on the field is a privilege, and that's something that's been stressed from our coaches down to us. So I would say, you're going to get every team's best game, but at the end of the day, as long as we're playing games, and luckily we had no games canceled earlier this season like some other teams, that was pretty cool for us. So I guess just what I said earlier, just being able to step on the field is something that we've been cherishing.
Yeah, also, I think adding on, just if you look at the beginning of the season, we were hardly even allowed our parents to come into games. And then the last game, the ACC championship, when we played Duke, we had like over 5,000 fans. So just seeing the progression of the fans and the excitement around the game is really awesome.
Absolutely. And hey, props to you guys for making sure to go all season pretty much COVID-free. Obviously, no stoppage to your season, able to continue all the way. We had heard some stuff, I think, early in the year, probably back in like the fall, about UNC. Obviously, every school, my school included, being the University of South Carolina, we were all having kind of COVID spikes. But props to you guys for maintaining, or not maintaining, but able to stay safe, obviously, not get sick, and obviously continuing to play your games. And really, just how was the season compared to other seasons, just in terms of the COVID protocols in effect? What was it like in contrast, I should say, to seasons past?
It was unique. I mean, just dealing with, I think we were getting tested like 3 times in the fall, and then 3 to 4 times in the spring. So really, just being careful with who you're being exposed to, limiting your bubble. So for the most part, for us, that really looked like just staying within our team, which was tough at times. But at the end of the day, I think all the guys on our team did such a great job buying into not only the program, but just the rules that we put in place to make sure everyone was staying healthy. And like you said, we were able to kind of go COVID-free. So that was a positive for us.
Absolutely, and it really starts there at the top, kind of with you guys being the leaders of this team. Obviously, you put these things in place, these rules and whatever you want to call them, rules in place. Obviously, it starts with you guys at the top. following those rules, obviously setting good examples there for the other players on your team. But obviously very excited that we were able to get this season in. We saw a few Ivy League programs. They weren't able to get their seasons up and running, unfortunately. So very glad that we were able to get Lacrosse, being that last spring we did not for the second half. So very, very glad for that. And then looking forward to a very exciting weekend this weekend with the Final Four. Chris, Alex, I want to thank you guys so much for taking the time here to join us here on Goal Line Extended in the middle of practice and film sessions. You guys are traveling out to Hartford tomorrow to play in the Final Four, so I really appreciate the time. Before I let you go, with what's looking like one of the biggest weekends of each of your careers up to this point, are we nervous? Are we excited? What emotions are we feeling right now heading into this weekend? Chris, if you want to start.
Yeah, I would just say excitement. Having the chance to play to the last weekend of college lacrosse is always really special. And similar to what we were saying before, it's why you come to UNC is to play in these types of games. So for us playing on Memorial Day, it's a privilege, and obviously really excited to take off tomorrow and just get to it.
Yeah,
and Alex, for you?
It's been awesome. I mean, I think one of the coolest parts is like last week we went out to a pizzeria around here and people were saying good luck to us and everything. We've obviously never got that, not making the playoffs. We have family members texting us, coming to the game, and just the utmost support from our school. We had the basketball coach come talk to us today, and we had our football coach last week. So it just feels really special. And I think anytime you get an opportunity to play in the Final Four, you just got to cherish it, win or lose.
We talk a lot about growing the game, obviously, whether it be just growing the game on a wide spectrum or obviously just in our little school communities, being that UNC is for many years, for the last couple of decades, UNC has been a pretty prominent lacrosse school, obviously still growing the game in UNC there. Being that you guys here playing in the Final Four. Very exciting stuff. Chris, Alex, I want to thank you guys again for joining us ahead of the Final Four in the 2021 NCAA tournament. Best of luck this weekend to you and your team. And for our GLE Flash special, that is going to do it for today. Goal Line Extended is available on YouTube or on any podcast platform. Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe, and we will see you in the next show.